Hey everyone, it is SamWageGG and we're back with a post-Rune removal day update. I hope everybody had an amazing free Rune removal day. I probably didn't get as much out of it this month as previous months, only because last month I basically took all my runes off of everyone and then started from the absolute beginning again. So really big changes last month, and the video that I recorded providing everyone with a bit of an update of where I'm at. Biggest change over the past 2 months for me has been Lola. So I did record a video last month with those updates all included, and the recording actually didn't work and I didn't realize until just recently. So rather than do it again, I thought I would basically just do a November, December, whichever month you categorize the most recent FRRD as being a part of. Technically it was 1st of December, at least in Australia, so we'll go with December's free Rune removal day. So I'd do an update from here onwards. As you can see, my world boss ranking has not changed at all. Again, it was a really significant change for me over the past 2 months. So this most recent Rune removal day, and then last month as well, huge changes for me, but excuse me. They've certainly been more focused on, or I've been more focused on, these changes have really affected my ability to do TOA hard, which I have now completed. I'm very excited to announce, and I will continue pushing through. So the November rotation for TOA hard did not have Lyrith, so that obviously made it a little bit easier for me. And I will definitely be doing an update or a video on that as well, so stay tuned for that over the next little while. My team is completely attainable / fusible, so really excited to do a TOA hard team just to show you how it can be done without all these amazing nat 5s, which I appreciate not everybody has. So that was my real focus over the past 2 months. The other one being R5. And whilst my team is still a little bit hit and miss, I still really need a balanced team to go in with. There's some 2 partners that really do pull their weight. My team does a lot better, but the issue that I have with world boss is that I used to go out pretty hard, pretty fast, do the majority of the damage, and then by 3/4 of the way through, if the other 2 haven't sort of caught up in terms of the damage, my team will not sustain and I will die. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it does mean that by the end of R5 I have dropped back to 3rd position, usually about 28% damage overall. So not the end of the world, but I certainly wouldn't classify it a win until, or at least in terms of my team, until I finish R5 quite comfortably 90% of the time still alive. So I'm still working on that. And that's okay, it'll be a work in progress, because the biggest issue I've found, I've been farming giants for the past maybe 3 months as a majority of my time, and that's purely been because I really wanted to focus on getting some better runes for burning, some better swift runes. That didn't happen. I did improve him by 1 speed, or maybe 2 speed. Either way, it wasn't a lot. So unfortunately it didn't really pay off for me. I'll show you my Bernie now. This is him. It's only plus 167, so still needs a lot of work, as you can see. His runes are all grinded, and that's part of the issue. I have this really nice Swift grindstone, and I don't have an appropriate Swift rune to grind. So you can see this one here has a lot of room to improve. I could easily, well, not easily because I've been trying, but I really should be looking at a 20 at least for that particular rune. This one is where I got the extra speed from. I got that from 16 to 18, which was good. And then we've got a 20 there. So that's my Bernie. He's not great, but he's getting there. Now, my favourite. Biggest change over the past 2 months, as I've said, has to be Lola. She is now Despair Revenge. Actually I think she was always Despair, but I've got her on a full sustain build. She's got my absolute best of the best of the best runes, as you can see. Pretty sweet runes. Let's see if I can grind these any, can I? Put some more attack in it. She doesn't really need attack. So she's doing pretty well. The reason that I have put her on what I have, by the way, is entirely because I use her in TOA. She is a TOA god or goddess, and that's where I use her all the time. So I had to get her sustainability up, which for me really means HP for sure. I could have gone HP and defense, absolutely, it's a bit of a mix. The reason that I didn't is just purely because I didn't have the top tier runes in defense for what I was after, which is purely why I bought HP, but I could certainly look at taking off a little bit of HP and adding it to defense easily. I wanted her speed to be above 150 as well, again for TOA. I want her going as often as possible with her first skill, AoE freeze, and then second skill, taking part of their attack bar. Having a little bit of the stunning there from Despair is also a huge help. And then that accuracy, I really, 62% to be honest, is great. I wouldn't need it any higher. So that is awesome. We've got a little friend here coming to say hello. So the other big change is Annabelle is on speed slot 2. Not that you can really tell by this at all because it is pretty average. And you can see here, I can actually get that up as well. It's only a 5-star rune. The reason that I haven't is because of that 23% attack percent rune. Pretty sweet. And given that her heal, which is what I primarily use her for in her cleanse, is based on her attack power, I really need that attack as high as possible. And if I'm not having attack on slot 2, 23% extra on the rune is still really nice. But she's a work in progress, absolutely, and I will continue to refine her as we go. So that's my Annabelle. I also put Verd on Rage Blade. Huge gamble there. And if you've seen my Dragons Speed Clear video, you will have seen his more recent rune stats. I think I tweaked him a little bit over the past month, but not substantially. And that's just because he's pretty sweet how he is. Yeah. Lisa, she is also a goddess. 121 speed additional is amazing. I have her that high because I do use her in R5. She's my secondary cleanser, so I also use Annabelle. I'm actually thinking I probably don't need her quite that high because she is a secondary healer, also secondary cleanser, and technical difficulties. Sorry about that. And as I was saying, so Lisa, she's my second cleanser. I have Annabelle as my primary, well, I shouldn't say primary and secondary at the end of the day. They both cleanse. The reason that I don't want to get rid of Annabelle is because of all of these here. So that this skill is so handy. It comes around so often. She's also on violent, which really helps. And she actually heals up quite a lot. So I want to keep her. So she heals and she cleanses, which is amazing. And that kind of beats Lisa's cleanse. But then Lisa also takes people with her. And it's, to be honest, I'm a little bit conflicted with which one to take off, if either. As I said, my team's not surviving at the moment, at least not until the very end. I'm not saying that it's not a good team, it's just needing a little bit of refinement, and I think part of that is to take a little bit of speed off of Lisa, improve the resistance a little bit more, improve that defense a little bit more, possibly even move her to the front line, and then I can look at really beefing up Colleen's speed. Or Annabelle, either way. As my only two healers, I shouldn't say only two, but my two healers, I definitely need them to be a lot higher, so they should both be 200 speed, and neither of them are. So, and Colleen's not even on violent at the moment. So definitely need to get her speed up. Joe is another huge one this month. I changed him around quite a bit. I think his speed stayed about the same, but I have increased that crit rate, which is very nice. And as you can see here, got to level up some runes still. These stats obviously won't change, but might get something nice to go along with it. So I'm still leveling up a lot of my runes that I have changed, given that as I said, it was quite a large change that I've been going through now over the past 2 months, and not everyone's at their limit. Potentially that's why I'm not seeing the results in World Boss, but it'll get there. I've run out of mana over the past 2 months now. I have spent over 10 million mana easily. Last month I spent, I think it was around 9 million, and I've spent, oh, it wouldn't have been 9 million, but it was quite a lot. And I actually got down to 1 million this month. So I've just been using about 500 gems, I'd say, to get back to 2.5 million. And I'm very grateful for Necro runes selling what they do. I've been selling everything that I found. Partly because I haven't found anything worth keeping, but also partly because I just really need the mana to level up my runes. Especially when I'm getting luck like this. Are you kidding? This is painful. Has to be one of the most annoying parts of Summoners War, I would say. I like the added feature that they did bring in about 6 months ago now, where you can level up 10 at a time. That is really handy. Better than what we used to have to do. Those that haven't been playing that long, power up, wait, power up, wait. So annoying. Same thing with the scrolls as well. I actually can't remember which one came first. I think it was the runes, and then they did bring in scrolls 10 at a time. I don't know why I'm doing this on camera. You guys do not want to see this, I'm sure. So Spectra, as I said, huge change. Everyone else is pretty much the same. I've obviously tweaked here and there. As you can see, I've got a second Lucian, which is pretty exciting. His stats are negligible. In fact, I wouldn't even bother. But then again, my first Lucian isn't that great either. That crit rate is shocking. I had no idea it was that low. Wow, that's embarrassing. I can't believe I just showed that to everyone on YouTube. Sorry, ignore that. Krungia, my mate, the big boss, he is an absolute god. And honestly, I mean, firstly, look at him. How awesome is he? So cool. But also, he hits like an absolute truck. In honour of old mate Krungia and free room removal day, I was going to say let's get this party started and do some guild wars. Unfortunately, I cannot. I recently gave up my position as co-leader twice in the guild as well. So can't start the war, but that's okay. I will keep on keeping on, do a few more level ups, and potentially be back in another video with a little bit of Guild Wars action, keeping in mind that it will be a pretty weak Guild War for the start of the week. Anyway, thanks all for tuning in. As always, I'd really love to hear your tips for rune removal day, anything that really works for you. As I've said in the past, the big thing for me is not to take off all of my runes from everyone straight away. I tend to go monster by monster and go with my absolute priorities and then work my way down. Keen to hear how you guys do that, and also what your big focuses have been. Thank you so much to everyone that's been keeping me in the loop. I really do appreciate the updates. I feel as much part of your Summoners War journey as you are of mine, and hearing where you're at is always such a huge help. So thank you all. It's also really reinforcing, encouraging as well, which is re-encouraging, a real word. What am I trying to say? Encouraging. Seeing what you guys are up to and knowing that my struggles are not completely isolated to me. So love to hear where you're at, and stay tuned for another Summoners War video soon.